Politicians know that communities of faith can be some of the most dependable, loyal, and powerful voting blocs. So how did the two frontrunners of New York's mayoral primary spend their final Sunday before Election Day? And what do their choices say about the future of Democratic politics in America? On Tuesday, New York voters will choose between two very different Democratic visions. On one side is Andrew Cuomo, the son of a governor who is also a governor himself and is backed by the billionaires, political elite, and the old guard. And on the other is Zoran Mamdani, a young socialist state assemblyman who's running a grassroots and insurgent campaign to topple what he calls a political dynasty. Now, Cuomo began his Sunday at one of Brooklyn's largest megachurches. He was introduced on stage by a powerful pastor, a former banker and ex-president of a group that represents 1.5 million churchgoers across the city.
And the Reverend has been a great mentor to me and a spiritual leader. And I like to play with the Reverend once in a while. I said, by the way, what happens if I violate the 5-minute rule, Reverend? He said, Andrew, did I ever talk to you about the concept of eternal damnation? I said,
Much of his speech felt like a carefully choreographed moment, aimed at projecting strength and securing the support of a powerful institutional figure. Mamdani's Sunday, however, looked really different. He spent his Sunday in a working-class neighborhood in Queens, welcomed by a largely immigrant community that's often ignored by mainstream campaigns. I was at the historic Sikh Gurdwara in Richmond Hill, where Mamdani shared one of his proudest moments as a freshman lawmaker.
Some of my closest friends, Punjabi New Yorkers, their fathers were taxi drivers. And I saw how they had been sold a dream by the city of New York, that they were then betrayed. Eventually, I went on a 15-day hunger strike to tell the city. And finally, we won $450 million in debt relief.
That kind of sacrifice, not just talking, but risking your own well-being for the working-class New Yorkers, is a big reason why more than a dozen volunteers gathered outside the Gurdwara after his speech to go door knock across the neighborhood. In fact, it's Mamdani's army of over 40,000 grassroots volunteers and canvassers that have him polling neck and neck with Cuomo, despite the fact that pro-Cuomo PACs are outspending Mamdani by about 40-1. So, Tuesday's election isn't just about the next man or his policies that will lead New York City. It's also a referendum on which direction the Democratic Party is going to take in the coming years. Because if Cuomo wins, it's a sign that big donors and establishment power still run the show. But if Mamdani is able to pull off an upset, New York City will be sending a strong message to organizers and strategists across the country that upcoming elections can be won if a socialist, populist, and working class ticket is put up to be the vanguard of the party's future.
And I was on a debate stage with Andrew Cuomo. He said that I had not achieved anything, but my proudest achievement was when we won close to $500 million in debt relief for thousands of working class taxi drivers. But if you don't see Punjabis, if you don't see Indian Americans, if you don't see South Asians as being a part of New York City, then you won't see an achievement that helps those people as anything. And we need a new kind of politics that sees everyone as belonging here and understands that for anyone to be able to stay here, they have to be able to afford this.